Àwa Rẹ́mọ láti Rẹ́mọ lókùnté, ibi ojú ti ń mọ́ wa lórí irun wa. Ìlú mẹ́tàlélọ́gbọ̀n rí dédé ẹni, lọ́mọdé lágbà lọ́kùnrin lóbìnrin, lọ́ba níjòyè kájagun mọ́lú. A bọ̀wọ̀ fún àwọn àgbà tó ti lọ. Àrè ẹ̀ ó ìhó ayọ̀, ẹ̀ ó ìhó ayọ̀, ẹ̀ ó ìhó ayọ̀, ẹ̀ ó ìhó ayọ̀.
SOA, my name is Abeokuta from Remo Culture and Electronic Magazine, where we are projecting, branding and promoting Remo social-cultural activities, Remo personalities, Remo cuisines, Remo brand, anything that has to do with Remo, either agric, culture, medicine, anything that has sports, our people, just for us to showcase. Today, I have the opportunity to be with one of us, one of the Remo icon, one of the Remo ambassador that has put Remo name in the global market. No other person than Professor Kola Adebayo, which happens to be the Deputy Vice-Chancellor of Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, Alabata, FUNAAB, is a DVC development. Today we are here to discuss with him like we've been doing, for him to tell us, to explain to us, to showcase what he has been able to do as an international professor of agric extension and economics, and what he has been able to do as a pioneer head of agricultural directorate of Remo Growth and Development Foundation. That is the foundation that seeks to development of Remo land, which was established by His Royal Majesty of Babatunde Adewale Ajayi Torunguwa II, the Akarigba paramount ruler of Remo land. So I will be giving the Professor Kola Wole Adebayo chance to tell us his experience and what he can actually recommend when it comes to Remo land, vis-a-vis agric development and food security. Prof, thank you for having us today.
Thank you very much, Abiola. It's good to be with you and the good people of Remo land, and through your media, Remo Culture and Tourism e-magazine. My name is Kola Wole Adebayo. I'm a professor of agricultural extension and rural development here at the Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, where I'm also at the moment the Deputy Vice-Chancellor Development. I am a native of Remo in Remo North local government of Ogun State. By birth, I grew up in Ibadan, but I came back to Remo for secondary school, which allows me the opportunity to fraternize more with people in Remo North and to have a home in Remo that I still associate with up till today. In my career as an agriculturist, I have had the good fortune to traverse from very rural settings, because I began my career in Mokoloki in Obafemi Ode local government as an agricultural extension officer, and then upon graduation from university became an academic staff at the Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta. The opportunities have been open to me to go to almost all the states in this country, as well as several nations of the world, to ply my trade as an agriculturist. Over the years, of course, I became a specialist in cassava. So today, when you talk about cassava in Africa, I am one of those people that has been influential within that sector. Particularly, cassava is, of course, of interest to me, being a Remo man, because it's our primary food in terms of gari, which is known with our people. But over and beyond that is that when I had the opportunity to head a cassava for Africa Development Project, I brought in a value addition project to Remo Land, which through the effort of Senator Odujeni and other people in Remo North is still functioning up till today. As a professional agriculturist, my work life and my love for the people had spread in the cassava space, both in Nigeria and in several African countries. Now, Remo Land is blessed particularly by the happenstance of location, by its geography, its closeness to Lagos, and on its when Ogun State carries the name Gateway State, Remo is one of those centers that confers this honor of Gateway on Ogun State, because there's no way you can come into the huge market of Lagos without passing through Remo Land. Either you are coming from northern Nigeria or you are coming from southern and eastern Nigeria. So the hub at Shagamu, which is the headquarters of Remo Land, becomes an important economic powerhouse for Ogun State and for Nigeria as a whole, because that same interchange also provides access to the West African Atlantic Coast road network, which provides access to the West African market. Therefore, from the opportunity that I have to be the pioneer director of the Agricultural Development Unit of Remo Growth and Development Foundation, we supported the state government in the establishment of the Special Agro-Processing Zone, SPAS, in Ogun State, which focus on that hub of Shagamu interchange, of which the Agrocargo airport between Iperu and Ileshan becomes an important component of that. And that offers both challenges and opportunity. Abiola, you would also recall that even in the stakeholders engagement that went into the process of establishing that hub, Remo Growth and Development and the Agricultural Directorate played some key roles at that time. The challenges are many, because development comes with challenges. There are a lot of changes. For instance, from an agricultural perspective, Remo Land has lost quite a bit of its Kola nut farms as a result of this development coming into Remo Land. But there are opportunities, there are prospects that the whole of Remo needs to continue to build on. I'm sure we have talked about this in Remo Growth and Development Foundation several times, but we can still do more. Not just us now, but the entire people of Remo Land. What do I mean? Many of our agricultural lands are being used up now for development purposes, industrial purposes, supporting the cargo airport, even the locations where the expected influx of population would reside. Some of our agricultural land have been taken up for that. But that is not to say that we cannot play a leading role in the agricultural space in this country, because by virtue of geography, we are best suited to tap on it. And one of our major opportunities is in value addition and in providing a transition hub for the entire country. So if you are bringing product either from the north, from the east, or from the south, and you are going to the port in Lagos, or you want to access the West African market, Togo, Benin, Ghana, all the way to Gambia, Remo Land can become the hub where all of this is aggregated and processed for export market. Even for internal market, Remo Land presents a unique opportunity, and this is where the Agrocargo airport becomes an important factor in this. So, what should our people in Remo be doing at this moment, or people who are interested in the growth of Remo? We should be investing in warehousing for agricultural commodity. We should be investing in cold chains, in dry chains, because these are the two main lines through which agricultural commodities enters into the market. It's either you preserve them in their form as cold transport opportunities or cold storage opportunities, or dry storage opportunities. So we are talking of whether it's grains like maize, soya beans, or cowpea, those are dry chain. But if it is maize, milk, or eggs, those ones can be through the cold chain system. So the entire of Remo land should start developing along this axis. Of course, in addition to providing food for the locals, aggregating from all over the country, but also preserving and holding stock that we can then trade with the international community. If we do this, the influx of foreign exchange into Remo land will change the entire landscape. But we need to also manage this wealth very well in terms of the infrastructure that will support and maintain the development that is envisaged. So we need to go beyond the Shagamu-Benin Express and the Lagos-Ibadan Express. All our intertown roads in Remo land need to become at least a trunk A road,
Okay.
and be functional, so that the time it takes to move from Ipara to the boundary with Ikorodu in Lagos State should not be more than 25-20 minutes when this road infrastructure is improved. The other part of infrastructure that we need to consider is a rail infrastructure. Now there is a rail from Lagos to Ibadan through Abeokuta. Ogun State government could do us a world of favor in Remo land if there is a rail connection from Ijebu-Ode through Shagamu or through any part of Remo land that is suitable to Abeokuta, such that communication by rail transport, trade by rail transport can also be enhanced. In fact, if we can take it all the way to the boundary of Ogun State, it will be an advantage for the state in particular, but of course for our nation as a whole. Then power. You can't have modern agricultural development without power, and of course internet services. So that hub, I know that there is a lot of effort by the Power Directorate in Remo GDF to ensure that there's 24-hour electricity around Remo land. We need to emphasize this so that when industry choose to locate in Remo land to support this agro-industrial development that is emerging in that region, energy should not become a constraint for them. It should be taken for granted that once you are there, you have access to energy, you have access to transport, and of course you have access to internet and other supporting services to make their businesses as smooth as possible. You know, we are talking about global businesses, global agri-businesses, and these require frequent and powerful communication. Then we need to prepare our youth. Agriculture today, when the youth are involved and engaged, thrives more than when agriculture relies on the senior citizens. For me, those who are in secondary school need to be properly tailored. And when we say agriculture, it does not mean that everybody has to study plant science or animal science. So you can study engineering and be relevant in agriculture. You can study ICT and be relevant in agriculture. In fact, you can study history or even Yoruba language and be relevant in agriculture in terms of your contribution to the entire value chain of agribusinesses opportunities that would emerge. You remember, there will be a new influx of people into Remo land to make all this industrial establishment, agro-industrial establishment functional. They will need schools, good schools.
Wow.
We need our youth to be ready to take these schools to international standard. So they need to be properly educated, colleges of education, universities with appropriate qualification to teach the kids of these new people coming in. We need our people to be able to provide services, business services, to help them prepare registration documents, to help them undo vehicle registration, to help them undo repairs of vehicles, repairs of basic equipment. That's one aspect of it. The other aspect of it is actually the direct employment that comes from all of this opportunity. Our youth need to be prepared for that, because no global business, whether agricultural or not, will employ somebody who is not qualified. So ensuring that our young people are appropriately qualified for the opportunities that will come is an important landmark that we need to invest in at this moment. If we do all of this, you begin to see the shape and nature of Remo land transiting from a more laid-back rural setup to an industrial hub playing a major function in agriculture and industry on a global scale. So for me, this is what I look forward to for Remo Land as an agriculturist, and I know that many of our contemporaries will be able to add more value to this from various disciplinary perspectives. On this note, I want to salute and give royal greetings to our paramount ruler, the Akaribu of Remo Land, the paramount ruler of Remo Land, Oba Babatunde Ajayi Torunbuwa II, and greeting Kabiyesi especially for the 2024 Remo Day that is nearing our doors now. And Kabiyesi apẹ́láyé o, ẹ̀pẹ̀rẹ̀ ní o, orúkẹ̀rẹ̀ adáòkè ní o, àwọn olórí wọn aṣiṣẹ́ ìbí, Kabiyesi o. Of course, the leadership of Remo Growth and Development Foundation. We have been doing fantastically well from our pioneering co-chairs to our current chair. The landmark that Remo Growth and Development Foundation is making is significant. But we should continue to do more and to speak for Remo at all times. And of course, Remo Culture and Tourism magazine, led by our indefatigable Abeokuta, you've been doing wonderfully well in terms of publicity and awareness and cultural consciousness for Remo Land. Please continue along this line. On this note, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, Professor. Our viewers at home, I think there's nothing much that I can say after what Professor Kola Adebayo have said so far. Like I said during my intro, he's Deputy Vice-Chancellor Development, Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, and was the pioneer director of Agric Directorate and Food Security of Remo Growth and Development Foundation. On this note, on behalf of the management and the media crew of Remo Tourism and Electronic Magazine, we are saying thank you to Professor Kola for hosting us. And then I think all what they have said, there are messages, there are recommendations that we've been looking for long. And I want to assure him that we bring it back home. And on this note, we want to thank His Royal Majesty Oba Babatunde Ajayi Torunbuwa II, Akaribu and Paramount Ruler of Remo Land, and all the Remo Royal Fathers for supporting what we've been doing. And I won't stop there. I have to show a sincere appreciation to the pioneer, chairman, and co-chair of Remo Growth and Development Foundation, the person of Otumba Tunji Lawa Sholari, and then Dr. Are Kola Oyefeso for the good standard they've laid for us and for the mentorship they've been mentoring us. And I won't stop there. I have my own chairman now, which is Otumba Adetu, and all the big names and the big people that are really doing well for Remo Land across all the 2 local governments in Remo Land. On this note, Remo Day, the maiden edition of Remo Day 2024 is coming on board. I'm using this opportunity, this medium, to call on all the Remonians, wherever they are, in and around Remo. Let us come together to celebrate our culture, to celebrate our tradition, to celebrate our unity, to celebrate our unique cultural heritage. On this note, I want to thank you all for giving us opportunity to bring this edition with Professor Kola Adebayo, the Deputy Vice-Chancellor, Federal University of Agriculture Development, for taking his time to accept us and to share with us a knowledge that cannot be taught anywhere rather than to experience it. Prof, thank you for having us. Sir.
Thank you very much.
SOE